Hi there, welcome back to Scribbles and Ink Stains. My name is Mary, and today I want to announce the winner to a recent giveaway celebrating 100 subscribers to my YouTube channel. If you entered that giveaway, please stick around until the end of this video and I'll be making that announcement. One of the ways journaling really enriches my life is that it forces me to slow down and look backward and not just continuously be rushing forward into the future, but it allows me to get some depth of thought and experience, so I'm not just skimming across the surface of my life. I'd be really curious to know what your go-to resources are for prompts, whether you use them. But one of the things I want to consciously and intentionally do is start a weekly reflection on creativity and supplies and stationery. So I'm sure you've noticed, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll notice that I'm still acquiring stationery supplies. And I don't think I'll ever hit equilibrium where I feel like I don't need anything, but I would like to rein it in a little bit and, for instance, always consider whether I can use what I already have on hand, and also ask myself whether the products are really fitting a unique slot in my, what I hope to be a more thoughtfully curated collection of stationery supplies. To help me stay focused in that reflection, I'll be using this as a visual guide for my thoughts. So, for instance, last week in stationery, I had a small order from Yoseka Stationery up in New York with some beloved new additions. We'll talk about those things that I really felt like were significant purchases in that they fill in a unique niche and they make my life easier for the tasks that are associated with those purchases. But it's not always about purchases. There was one instance last week where I was able to dip into my supplies and make good use of repurposing some paper that I found and using what I know about notebooks, for instance, to create my own sketchbook instead of purchasing one. So mostly the focus of this video is reflecting on that stationery/creative world. And I just happened to receive today my subscription to Everyday Explorer's mini book. And so for the second half of the video, I will be creating a spread using those stamps and stickers in my mini book. Finally, at the very end, I'll be drawing the name of the winner for my recent celebration of, I popped past that 100 subscriber mark on YouTube, which is a pretty big deal for me, deep introvert that I am. Let's talk stationery. The place I feel like I need to start is with this little modular sketchbook that I made last week. Instead of running out to buy more things, I had leather on hand and I put together a little modular sketchbook based on the overall concept of Traveler's Notebook. At its core, this is a leather cover with elastic closure string and one elastic string along the binding to hold in various signatures. Now, there's absolutely nothing fancy about these signatures other than it happens to be really good paper, and it's because I had upcycled a full sheet that I already had in my stash. This whole thing was free to me and a really excellent way for me to utilize what I already had on hand. Super simple. The signatures are not even stitched. They're just slipped together, two different signatures into the top band and the bottom band. If you're interested in that, I'll link up in the cards to, it's not necessarily a full tutorial, but if you're crafty, it's a walkthrough of the process that I used to put this notebook together. If you don't have leather on hand, or if you prefer not to use animal products, of course you can use any sturdy vegan or scrap product that you already have in your collection. This would be a great way to repurpose old leather goods, or I've done similar things even with vegan placemats from, not Pottery Barn, from places like Pottery Barn or Pier 1. I've really enjoyed putting this together, and I've very much enjoyed using it. It is super portable. If you're using a limited palette with your watercolors, you can pack super light, and it is modular, so I really do see this as a lifetime book, a life book that I can move in and out of depending on what my needs are. And here I just took a note that I went to the lake and did a plein air study. I've also done some nature studies in my backyard. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Slendy Plus, because I've always been a fan of working in pencil, and I have another pencil style eraser in my stash. I'm not sure I can put my hands on it right now. My stationery desk is a disaster right now, and I've got my art supplies pulled aside in different bags. If you can see these through the package, the other clickable pen eraser that I have takes these round refills. They're made by Nock, which is, I believe, a Japanese company. And these are great, but these are much softer. And the issue I was having an issue when drawing on Hobonichi paper, that the paper, when you're using pencil, the paper clogs and smudges quite easily. It fills up with lead and then just sort of becomes a smudgy mess. Here we go. So I just wanted to demonstrate when that happens, when you get this kind of, when your hatching turns into mud, as it can do. You can go in with your kneaded eraser and it just tends to make more mud on this page. I don't know how to describe it. It pushes and smudges instead of erasing cleanly. I did have other pencil erasers, but these are almost too hard, so it's a bit like Goldilocks. I was looking for a better pencil lead eraser for Hobonichi paper, and this is amazing. This is the Slendy Plus. I picked this up from Yoseka, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it is absolutely wonderful. It is stiff enough and sharp enough that it really just gets in there and erases very precisely. Just a sketch, just a doodle, really, in my notebook. But when things got too smudgy for my taste, this allows me to go in very selectively and even out the tones, even out the shading. And I love it. Slendy Plus, Yoseka. The other thing that I picked up from Yoseka was a collection of uni leads in 0.5 size. In my sketchbook, I always have a mechanical pencil in 0.5, which is my go-to drafting medium. I've wanted to try red leads for some time. Yoseka just happened to have these on their new in page, so I picked up a pack of the uni 0.5 red color leads, and these are erasable. Red leads are super useful for laying out a drawing before you go in with watercolor. Love that it's erasable. And they're the kind of tools that just make a very limited, curated sketching bag. I did pick up 2 inks from Yoseka. They're both Lennon Tool Bar. One is in Silky, one is an ink sample in the Dongding Oolong tea. My next video will be swatches of all my green fountain pen inks, and I just am really into, maybe it's because I'm doing so much plein air painting and sketching, but I've really been enthralled with olive fountain pen inks, and this is a gorgeous, cool olive color. The Silky is a deep gray, which I think is much more expressive than black as well. It's an interesting series. It's kind of a food-based series. If you've ever been to an Asian market, Silky is a black-skinned chicken, very small chicken. They have a really wonderful recipe basically on the Yoseka site where you stir-fry ginger, add rice wine, and stew the Silky chicken. Add wolfberries to mellow the flavor, add cabbage right before serving. At first glance, it seems like a very winter color, but we've been having afternoon heat-induced thunderstorms just about every day here in North Carolina. So for me, this is just a really wonderful seasonal ink for midsummer. That's all I have for reflecting on what I've really been using this week. For this next bit, I just wanted to create a spread in my Every Last Bite book, and I'll be using some of these materials. Alright, so Everyday Explorers, I think what I'd like to do on this front page is stamp the whole stamp pad in one go. Let's look at what this comes with. It comes with an idea kit. If you're a subscriber to the monthly books, then you also get digital downloads of everything that I show you. And that's a real treat, especially if you blow through the stickers quickly and you don't mind fussy cutting your own and printing on your own sticker paper. I thought that was a great thing. Food themed stickers. Cute sayings. More cute sayings and labels and arrows. And then you get these sheets, double-sided sheets to use as backgrounds or as ephemera. I don't know what I want to use here for that. And again, super handy because they're dual-sided, super handy to have those digital downloads. And I'm just going to cut a geometric shape. We've got that. I'm going to, let's ink this up and get a record of all of those stamps. This is the VersaMagic Dewdrop ink to do this whole thing. Alright, so once it goes down, it needs to stay down. This might be a disaster. No, I felt that slip off. Yeah, I felt those two go, but cute. I still like it. Now I'm going to clip it so I don't jostle that around. My husband and I have been really craving homemade pizza lately, so that's the theme of what I'm going to build my first spread around. This is just the back of a scrap sheet of paper. This up. The book has lines to help you keep things squared up. My little printer prints on paper where you can either leave it with this Polaroid look or you can snap that bottom part off. So let's pull out one of their stickers. What color do I want? Kind of feeling the blue. The blue Yum Yum sticker. There we go. My first spread in my Every Last Bite. I think I want some more stamps. I'm going to try to stamp on the photo itself. There we go, my first pizza spread in my, this is actually the first spread I've ever done in an Everyday Explorer book. The paper is quite nice, obviously stamp friendly. It did not go through and it soaks up the ink nicely. You get these beautiful matte effects with the VersaMagic ink. If you stuck with me this far, it is time to talk about the winner for my 100 subscriber giveaway. Let's do that now. Is it full? No. Oh. Yes. Ready? Yes. In. I enjoyed reading each of your lists of top 3 favorites. There's so much out there, and I think the instinct is to think that you need everything that you see, everything that's mentioned. So I'm really hoping that this series of looking back and reflecting helps me tame some of that hedonistic treadmill type of behavior with my purchasing. This is a little origami box that I made out of the sheet of just regular printer paper. There we go. I've got one name. Stephanie Daniels. Congratulations. Thank you, each of you, for chatting with me about stationery. I really, if any of you are in North Carolina, an hour south of Raleigh, please reach out to me. I'm looking for people to urban sketch with. Yeah, there's a little bit of urban sketching and stationery meetups happening in Raleigh, but that's an hour and 15 minutes north of here. Anyway, congratulations, Stephanie. In the description box, I will list my Gmail address, so send me your email address so I can get you that gift certificate to Goulet pens. And congratulations, thank you all again. I hope you have a lovely stationery week, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao.